Greetings, magnificent, dear, precious spirit soul, eternal being that you are. I know who you are, and you know who you are. And we know that we are united for that one purpose and cause of the complete, what would you say, reactivation, expression, realization of every true divine being, animal, human, all that are divine beings, and that we're always endeavoring for the welfare of all because we're without envy and jealousy, because we know who we are and we know what we're about. Now, this is the second point of generating self-control. And the first one is, once you notice where you're out of control, what is controlling you, you can't help it because it's happening, it's taken over, you're just doing it, it's habitual. Okay, once you notice that, write down these little things in your journal. You're going to write down what's taking control of me. Then now here's the next point. Why are you doing that? What are you getting out of that? What do you believe that you think you're going to get from having no self-control, but giving other people control of self? And self is you, and there's super self. That's why I call it God or the divine, and it's called in the Vedas, which means ancient knowledge. And it's super self, or whatever label or name, never can actually give us truth, because we are absolute truth. And in the absolute, that is, it has nothing to do with your truth, my truth. Oh, it's your truth, my truth. I like to do this. I like to eat bacon, so it's okay that I eat pigs. Well, did you know that pigs eat feces, poop? That's what they get their nutrition from. And you eat it? Well, that's fine. Now, do you have self-control, or is your tongue controlling your life, you see? Or are your eyes controlling, because you've got to watch certain things that give you certain stimulations that you think you want to have and what you want to do. So, see, what you have to look at is what is controlling you. Well, it's your senses. Your eyes running after objects that it wants to see. Your ears running after objects that it wants to hear and forms. Your mouth running after things it wants to eat and taste, you see. Or running after what you want to say. And the hardest thing to control is the tongue, obviously. So, because everybody is having to eat to maintain the body, but are you in control of what you eat? Or is what you eat eating you? Okay. And when you start watching why you're doing that is because you're getting some satisfaction. You're getting some fulfillment. You're maybe afraid. You start to analyze, well, why am I giving control to all of this? And one of the wonderful things about AA, Alcoholics Anonymous, has a lot of wonderful stuff in it. But anyway, the key is that you start to recognize that there is a power greater than we are. But it isn't, in a sense, better than we are. This power is what we are part of. It's a quality of it's a fabric of our being. It's our nature. It's who we are. And yet there is, the greater power is when we're tuned in to the fullness of the divine, and we call for it, we activate it. And I did that years ago when I was a big time drinker, because I was using it to help me, to make me feel better, or to reward myself from something, for a hard day's work. You had to have a glass of wine that they became a bottle of wine. And it was not that I'm a terrible, bad person. It's not to feel guilty. You had to end the guilt. Because, see, if you're out of control, you're going to allow somebody else to control you by guilt. And your own mind is going to control you by guilt. And your own mind is going to control you by fear. So tell me, what is this mind then? Are you looking at it? Or does somebody... Don't study the books you got in psychology class. Who wrote those? What is that about? It's going to try and tell you that has nothing to do with you. And, in an educational system, we would want to teach the child... is give the child, you don't even teach the child, you give that child an opportunity to actually know what they really know, and to learn how to be discerning, and to realize how they are part of the divine. Okay. So when you notice who and what, is controlling you, that you have given your power to, and it's pulling your chains, and you're the puppet of that, and you're involved in it, you're generating it because you're agreeing with it, you're actually manifesting it and creating this by being out of control of self, by giving self others to control. You can see what I'm saying? You understand what I'm saying? All right. So here's this then. Second then point is, write down and look at and write down. What are you getting out of this? Why are you doing that? Well, I don't know any better. Well, who said? Well, I was never good at math. Who cares? What do you really need? Well, I'm going to balance my checkbook maybe, or different things. Oh, yeah, wow, big deal. Okay. You are a divine being with all divine powers, qualities, and abilities. That's who you are. But you have to take it back. You have to recognize it and realize it. So then that's the second point. We'll get on to the third point and realize that this is the greatest work there is. There is no better work to activate and realize and bring forth who you are, because you're an eternal being and you're always going to be with you. And as you're being with you as you are in full command and control of your senses and your mind. You see? Understand that? Then, wow, what is now possible? Be open to it. See you for part 3.